Cubs preview. Cubs preview. Cubs preview. From the Son Ranto Show.
Rock and roll, everybody. Hey, it's Danny Rockett, and I'm here with my Cardinals fan friend, Dennis. Dennis Bisto in the house. So I don't need these because we're not listening to anybody else. But yeah, welcome to the Son Ranto Show. Yeah, we decided we would do this in person right before the game started tonight because we're going to be going down there. We're going to leave in about a half hour, so this will take only a half hour to talk about what's going on with the Cardinals. We got a 5-game series, which is just because basically they were locked out and they won the series from April and they put it to now. And now, so that's why they're doing a 5-game series, which I kind of like. That's like the old days. Like if you look at old baseball reference pages, they're like, and then they went to Pittsburgh for 8.
Yeah.
It's just like that because train travel.
It's crazy though to have
inflation.
our first game against each other this late in the season. It's insane. It felt like there was so much anticipation. I can't wait for the fucking Cubs matchup, and then now it's like you guys suck. You're already out of it.
We're already out of it. I know. It's just well, and I'm kind of like surprised. I mean, I want to talk. The Cardinals are 29-21. They've played above their Pathag. They've got the AARP Express coming down.
Yeah.
You got freaking Molina out there pitching. You got Pujols out there pitching in blowout wins, which I find to be classless, by the way. You should only do that in losses. Otherwise, you should have to. It's your punishment for scoring a lot of runs, in my opinion.
Just having fun,
That's
man.
the Cardinal way.
Just out there having fun, man. Couple old guys just throwing some pitches, having a good time.
But you're in second place, and you got a Brewers team. Like we've been talking to my friend Eric Wheelo, who's a Brewers fan and a great comedian, and his whole thing about the Brewers is like, oh, we got this pitching. And I'm like, well, Woodruff's hurt now. He's like, oh, he'll be back. And I'm like, well, I don't know. What do you really have? Like, it's just like, well, the next guy up, Ashby, is going to do it and stuff. And so I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked him, which is, do they have the guns this year to not only overtake the Brewers, which I think you maybe could do just because you have some made up guy that you're just going to bring up from Louisville or wherever the hell, and he's just going to overperform, and then you'll never hear of him again because he's not real.
Lars Newbar.
Yeah. Lars Newbar, who's in the lineup tonight, I believe. But yeah, do you have what it takes?
I don't know. I don't have any disillusions about the team. I feel like it's a solid team, but I do feel like we're a wild card team. I don't anticipate us winning the division and overtaking the Brewers. It's possible for sure. We do have a lot of rookies. It's weird because you mentioned the AARP team because it's like the average medium age is like 30 because our whole lineup is like 40-year-olds and 20-year-olds. We either have 4 guys that are like in their first season ever or like guys that are in their 20th season that are playing. So it's an interesting mix, but I see him finishing as a wild card team. Just
when most of your team is close to the average age of a baseball fan, you're in trouble, which I think is like 58 or something. Like anything where my 48-year-old ass brings the average down is like, it's not good. Like you have players closer to my age than the average baseball fan. Mm-hmm. So he's not playing tonight, but I've been taking a lot of flack for not knowing a Cardinals prospect named Nolan Gorman. And let me just say, I still don't give a fuck. And unless he's playing at Wrigley Field and he's in 10 games he was up. He was 19th overall, first round pick in 2018. He's killing it right now. Slashing 387, 472, 677 since he's been up. But he's not playing tonight because he's hurt. But you said he might be available.
Yeah, the rumor was that he might be available tonight. He's like day-to-day with some back tightness. And I just want to say, how dare you for not knowing Nolan Gorman? Like, what kind of Cubs fan are you?
I know. How do I not know all the prospects of every single farm system in the major leagues? What the hell's wrong with me? Well, I'll tell you what the hell's wrong with me is if you read top 100 lists, that's all very interesting to some people. It's boring as fuck to me. Okay. So I'm not going to I'd rather screenshot best fans in baseball, like on, riffing on the gay pride tweet down in St. Louis and like, look at that shit and make fun of you guys than anything. We got some comments in the chat here. Facebook user says Dennis doesn't look as boring as I thought he would.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'll take that backhanded compliment all day.
And I see people are putting chants in the chat. We're not doing that tonight. There's just a preview. There's not a regular show. We'll be back on Monday. We'll do chants for a chance. We're not doing that tonight. But thanks for tuning in. And somebody else says, Danny. That's Tom. We talked last night. And Bill says, hey, Dennis. So yeah, Nolan Gorman, we're not going to see, but he's your top prospect. We probably might see him tonight. Another top prospect is up with the team is Matthew Liberatore. And please tell me the lame ass story you told me about these two freaking fools.
It's heartwarming. It's
so
just the kind of thing the best fans in baseball eat up. You know, these guys were childhood best friends, just growing up together, playing ball, dreaming about being in the big leagues together. And they got into the same system and got called up on the very same day to play on the same team in the majors. I mean, doesn't that just warm your little baseball heart?
Yeah. I mean, that would have been like if like Javi and Lindor ended up on the same team kind of thing, which I think the Cubs could have done. And I mean, then we'd suck even worse because Javi's actually having a really bad year so far. Carrie writes in, Dennis, already more pleasant than Wheelo. Yeah, Wheelo's like a wrestling heel that we have come on the show, and it should be you because like the Cardinals, but it's like with the Cardinals, it's like you respect, but you hate that you respect the Cardinals because they did win all the rigs. Like, you know, they've won more games in the last 10 years than the Cubs did. The Cubs are third. It's like the Cardinals, Brewers, Cubs or something like that. And it's just bullshit because we spent more money, but we just did it poorly. We just have to admit that. And then the other thing about, I want to get back to Wheelo. Yeah. The sad thing about that is with the fucking Brewers, they haven't won anything ever.
Yeah.
Like they don't even, I think
the World Series they lost to was to the Cardinals as well. Didn't they
yes,
make the
1983.
And
the Harvey Wallbaggers with like what's his name? Robin Yount and Paul Molitor. And then so you guys I was looking at the stats leaders. Paul Goldschmidt has the highest OPS in baseball. Is
Goldie
slashing 353, 429, 625 on the season. And that was last night's stats. So I don't know if that's totally updated, but it's damn close to being awesome no matter what. So like he's having himself a year. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, he's having he had the best month in Cardinals history. He passed up May as far as doubles go. In May, he had 23 doubles in a month and just squeaked past Stan Musial and Albert Pujols. They each had 22 in the month of May historically. So now Goldie has the most doubles in the month of May for any Cardinal ever, which there's quite some, impressive names on that list that he passed up.
Lonnie Smith, Vince Coleman, Lars Nootbaar.
He's next.
Well, let's take a look at the Cardinals offense that just swept the San Diego Padres. So it's very small. So I take a look at Goldschmidt. This is the last 15 days that I'm putting up. I wanted to look at how people are coming in. Paul Goldschmidt with 6 home runs in the last 2 weeks. Nolan Gorman, who I've never heard of that guy. What's his name? Nolan Gorman. He's been in the 10 games. We don't see him tonight. He's hurt. And then it kind of drops off from there. Like Pujols not having a great year overall, but last 2 weeks of only batting 143. As far as dudes coming in hot, you haven't really been doing it with the offense. Like there's the only 2 OPSs over 800 are Nolan Gorman and Paul Goldschmidt. And if you're watching right now, you're looking at these stats. I guess Dylan Carlson's batting 364, but the OPS is still under 700. I'll remind you of some of these names like Harrison Bader, another made-up dude that came out of nowhere and started kicking our ass.
Mr. Sunshine.
Nolan Avocado, batting 205 the last 2 weeks, so not coming in hot. So I'm expecting Goldschmidt to cool off at this point because like that doesn't last forever.
Yeah, and I'm expecting Arenado to heat back up a little bit. He had an awesome April. He took a big dip in May. So if he can pull it up and Goldie can stay hot a little bit, I think that'll help carry our offense. But yeah, like you said, the old guys are not really pulling their weight. It's all fun and games to watch them and be nostalgic. But
here's what I think. Bill Suggis brings up a good point. He said steroids are a hell of a drug for Goldie. I am convinced that Major League Baseball wants the ARP tour to come and win the World Series so bad that they're just not drug testing those guys. They're like shooting Yachty full of shit. They're shooting Pujols or keeping them on the Wainwright. They're sitting there like they got the injections every game just to get out there because their last year doesn't matter. They're not peeing in the cup. They're just going to let them win the World Series. They're not going to spend any money doing it. They're not even going to make any trades, and they'll even still be good next year because they won't even give up Nolan Norman.
Nolan Gorman, man.
Whatever.
What kind of Cubs fan are you?
Stupid fucking name.
And I gotta tell you, there was a guy who randomly just suggested that Pujols might have taken steroids way back in the day when he was on St. Louis previously. Immediately sued. So watch out, man. You might have a lawsuit coming your way.
No, I'm not saying
your tongue.
him. I'm just speculating here.
Okay, there you go.
I'm saying what I think MLB wants to happen is what I'm saying.
So you think MLB wants the Cubs to lose?
Dominic calls it the cocoon tour. Finding the fountain of youth. Yeah. The Ponce de Leon tour. Did you have a guy named Ponce de Leon? Yeah. He's probably the dealer. So I'm looking at some of the stats here. The Cardinals, they're 10th in OPS. Cubs are 17th. They're both average, middle of the road in home runs hit. Cubs are 7th in walks, so they've walked more than the Cardinals, who are average. The Cubs strike out more. The Cardinals don't. They have the third fewest strikeouts in the major leagues. So I thought that was an interesting stat. What's that all about? Like,
yeah, especially with so many
steroids,
low batting averages.
Yeah, larger bats are they using now? Yeah, low batting average. So they're hitting it into outs.
Yeah,
they're good at making outs.
They're not striking out. They're just grounding out and flying out a lot.
Cubs are third in stolen bases, but the Cardinals are first. So I think this might be kind of an exciting 5-game series in that there might be quite a bit of running, especially when you got Yachty behind the plate and Wilson Contreras, both really great catchers, really great arms.
Yeah.
So it's going to be maybe a lot of fun there. People asking, did I get a haircut? No. Are you talking to him? Because the answer is definitely no. If you look at this freaking hippie,
they might have been saying get a haircut.
Oh yeah, exactly. So the Cubs, though, however, are first in caught stealing. So
don't even try it.
Yeah,
don't test Yachty.
And and I'll get to. I mean, I'll just skip forward. But the Yachty is one of the top catchers in the league as far as it's catching guys stealing, and the Cubs are just average in that category. So the Cardinals are 6th in runs scored, and the Cubs are 12th. So regardless of having pretty similar offenses in a lot of other respects, the Cardinals are just better at scoring runs. 6th in the league. That's top of the league run scoring, and in the NL Central, I mean, that'll play
in our division. Yeah, it adds up to a lot of wins.
Well, apparently, I mean, it does. I mean, you're 29 and 21, and I was telling you right before we came on that one thing that's disconcerting is that the Cubs are like 6 and 13 in one-run games, and you turn that into a 13 and 6, and you just like eat that extra bowl of Wheaties and get it over the top.
Right.
Now you're looking at the same record as the Cardinals,
Mm-hmm.
because you got 8 more games, and we're under 500 right now. We might be here all year, but anyway,
yeah, I'd be interested to see our stats in one-run games because I feel like we've won a lot in extras. Like I don't remember this year a lot losing in extras. I feel like when we go a little bit longer, like we've been pulling out a lot of those games.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's like that's when Yachty goes down, he gets his little shot, and then he goes out there,
hits up Ponce de Leon.
Let's go, hits up Ponce de Leon back in the locker room, watches a little tape. Hits the cage. Hit the cage. That's what they call it. So let's talk about the bullpens. Also pretty equal. The Cardinals have a 370 earned run average. Cubs have a 389. That's both average in the major leagues. The Cubs have given up the second most homers, so that's not great. But we've also pitched a hell of a lot more innings just because we don't have like starters that go very long in the games. Even Kyle Hendricks only went 5 the other day. The Cardinals, though, 7th most, so they're giving up the long ball. And your bullpen was pretty bad last year.
Yeah.
They're both average in walks. The Cubs are 1st in strikeouts. The Cardinals are 8th worst. They don't strike out a lot of guys out of the bullpen. Yeah, 8th worst in the league. But tell me about your bullpen, and did it improve from last year? Because it was total dog shit before. I'm putting up the stats. This is for the year, by the way. Andre, here's another made-up guy. Andre Peloton. What's his name? Palante?
Yeah.
Paliente?
Palante.
Oh.
The Peloton. Yeah, that's the CEO of Peloton right there.
Well, he's got 25 innings pitched on the year at a 107 ERA. So if he's pitching in the game, it means they're trying to win. Genesis Cabrera's taken a lot of innings. So, there's a lot of guys I haven't heard of. TJ McFarland, Nick Whitgren, Drew Verhagen, Cody Whitley. I mean, who are these guys? I mean, you had a crappy bullpen full of a bunch of losers and old guys last year, and Carlos Martinez, who was, by the way, caught taking drugs. So there's already proof it's on the team.
Drugs are cool.
Yeah. That wasn't to clear up his gonorrhea either. That was some.
Doesn't Nick Whitgren sound British? It's hard to say that name and not sound.
He sounds fake.
Nick Whitgren.
He sounds like a fake person that doesn't really exist as a human.
Cheerio, Nick Whitgren.
But so the bullpen is somewhat improved. I remember they were one of the worst bullpens in the major leagues last year.
Yeah, somewhat improved is we set the bar really low. Like that's something we can tip our cap to. It's like, wow, our bullpen has gotten slightly better than the worst in the majors. So,
it was. It was like the worst that you had blown saves all over the place.
And I honestly don't think it's that much better.
Bunch of people that nobody ever heard of, and now it's good again. Like, is it funny how that works for the Cardinals?
I honestly think it's again like the division that we're in, kind of bolstering the stats a little bit. Like the bullpen to me has not been great. Like you said, we don't have a lot of strikeouts. It's not out there making people miss, and we don't have those guys that I'm super confident in, but the competition is also not very scary either.
Yeah. Well, I feel like there's a lot of parity around the majors right now, except for just a few teams that are really running away with it, at least as far as the National League goes. And then finally, defensively, the Cardinals are pretty good. 710 defensive efficiency ratio, or DERB, as it's known. 695 for the Cubs. Cubs have 4 more errors. And their catchers, as I said, are towards the top of the league. I think 3rd best in caught stealing, where the Cubs are just average. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to come back and talk about some of the matchups, everything but Saturday, because like nobody knows what the hell is going to happen in that doubleheader. It's all just TBD from hell. So I'm not even going to bother. Maybe I'll put out a Sun Ranto that morning to the Patreon subscribers, which you should be, because if you support us on Patreon, you get all sorts of extra content, and you help pay for Dennis's ticket, because I paid for Dennis's ticket. He's on the show telling us about the Cardinals. So that's a 1-to-1 ratio. You join Patreon, give Sun Ranto money, I buy Dennis tickets, and we go to the game and drink beer. Got it? Thank you. So here's a commercial for Patreon. We'll be right back. All over Chicagoland, there are thirsty, frazzled, overworked Cubs podcasters who are struggling to survive one more baseball season in the dog-eat-dog world of unpaid content creation. But it doesn't have to be this way. You can make a difference. Become a super ranter at patreon.com/sunranto, where your support ensures that poor, sad, pathetic, ugly, loser Cubs podcasters can pay for tickets and beer, and in turn line the pockets of the baseball oligarch Ricketts family. Just $1 a month can buy a scorecard. $5 a month can pay for guitar strings to write a Cubs song. And $10 a month almost buys 1 beer at Wrigley Field. Cubs content creators are the lowest pieces of pond scum garbage that slither over the face of this planet. But super ranters help them get drunk and screw off at baseball games. What do you get out of it? The Sun Ranto Show delivered to your podcatcher without stupid advertisements like the one you're seeing and hearing right now. Plus, at other Super Ranter levels, you can get Cubs music, access to private Sun Ranto pages, the Ranter calendar, and special thanks and Ranter recognition in our live broadcasts. Plus, eligibility for monthly prizes. What does Sun Ranto get out of it? Your money. For tickets and beer. Go to patreon.com/sunranto. That's patreon.com/sunranto. And become a Super Ranter today. And the Sun Ranto Show, as always, is brought to you by our 115 Patreon supporters. If you want to be awesome, you should support us. Matthew, is it Libertor? What do we got here? Here's Libertor. Libertor. Is it, I had high cholesterol once and I had to take some Libertor.
Yeah.
I did. Try Libertor. Side effects include diarrhea, restless leg syndrome. So
spontaneous muscle movements that may become permanent,
and death. That's my favorite one. It's like, and you might die. It's like, well, I'm not doing this. Unless you're gonna die, you're like, well, I was gonna die anyway. Might as well like go out.
Well, he's
way.
Lipitor now. Forever.
Yeah, Lipitor. Yeah, and so Matthew Lipitor and his best friend who's on the IL, or he's pitching tonight. Now he's a rook. He's 9.2 innings in the bigs. That's it. He's given up 9 hits and 4 runs. They were all in one game against lousy Pittsburgh, who is about to sweep the Dodgers or just did or something like that. Anyway, tell me about this guy. What are your prospects? You haven't seen much of him.
No, I can't wait to see him tonight. I mean, he's one of the highly touted prospects that you are very familiar with.
I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about any of your prospects.
You're a big fan.
No,
You're a big fan of the farm system.
Yeah,
I know you are.
Fuck the farm.
Yeah, I mean, he's a young,
all farms,
young, tall, good-looking chap in the St. Louis farm system that you fucking love.
You and your like freaking brittle feely over here. It's like, that sounds English. Now you call people chap and shit. Lipitor. Well, Keegan Thompson's going to go out there, and this is what he did last time. He gave up only 1 run on 5 hits, struck out 4 against the White Sox, and he's going to be in the rotation for the foreseeable future, even though he's pitched out of the pen in piggyback games before. He pitched well. He's been doing great. I mean, the dude's got a 158 earned run average on the year. Cubs have won pretty much every game he's had a decision in. And it's just been good. It's been a surprise, I think, to a lot of Cubs fans. And the Cardinals have seen him before. Paul Goldschmidt, goddamn goalie.
Goldie.
He's 2 for 5. They're both home runs. Dylan Carlson has a home run too. They kind of lit him up. Tommy Edman hit him. Norman Avocado hit him. So this looks like maybe 2 games worth of data on this, and it doesn't look great for us, to be honest. Like, got an 878 OPS, and 3 home runs. So, and then the next game, and we're not going to do all the games. As I said, we're not doing Saturday, but Miles Michaelis, who they picked this guy up off the scrap heap from Korea a couple years ago, did awesome. And then
he's
but then he fell off and he had a bad year because he was hurt or something, or I don't know what was wrong with him. But then he's having a good year this year. He's only got a 267 earned run average. He went 115 pitches last time, and he gave up 6 runs, though. 2 homers against Milwaukee, and you lost 8-0. But that was his worst start of the year. He's coming off his worst start of the year.
I'm pretty sure he still leads our team in ERA as well, even after that 6-run outing, his last performance.
Yeah, because here's 2-1-0-0, 2-1-1-3-3, 6. Well, I'm thinking a 9. I think we put a 9 spot up on.
Oh, you want a 9 tonight?
Yeah, I want a 9 spot up on Miles. Doesn't that sound British? Miles.
Stop pushing it, Danny.
Yeah, the Cubs have 0 home runs against Miles Michaelis.
Doesn't even sound British.
And no triples. Not a single triple. Ian Happ does well. He's 2 for 5. And so I'm looking for this whole situation with not giving up home runs to change tonight. And then Friday. Oh, no, this is Friday. He's going up. Miles Michaelis is going up against Stroman. Yeah, okay. Stroh did great last time. 3 hits, no runs, only 2 strikeouts, 7 innings pitched. This is his second start since the COVID IL when he went 5 innings, 2 runs, struck out 8. So he's coming off a couple of nice starts. He had a slow start to the year, giving up 8 runs and 5 runs and not lasting very long. But the Cardinals have seen him quite a bit. Corey Dickerson, which actually means son of Dicker in English. So he's batting .432, and it's not a small sample size. Yeah,
No.
it's 38 plate
Yeah.
appearances. He's batting .432. He's got 5 doubles, 2 dogs. Paul Goldschmidt has a dog, of course. Pujols is 5 for 14. Seen him a bunch.
Ooh.
So yeah, this doesn't look great for us either. They let Lightstroman up 839 OPS in 112 plate appearances.
Ouch.
Yeah, not looking good. So there's your Friday matchup. Now I'm going to skip forward to Sunday because Lord knows what's going to happen on Saturday. And if you were a Patreon supporter, maybe Saturday morning I will wake up and I will tell you and look up a bunch of shit. Maybe, but only if you subscribe on Patreon. Cubs versus Adam Wainwright. So he did great last time. 7 innings pitched, 10 strikeouts, 2 hits, only 1 walk against the Padres. That's no slouch of a team. Most runs he's given up all year is 4. He did it 3 times. And he's been pitching into the 7th all month. So, or pitching through the 7th, I should say. So that really frees up your bullpen to not suck at the end of a game. It doesn't matter if they don't have strikeouts because the starter's doing it. And the Cubs have 115 pitches last time. So you're working your dudes. So we'll see if that shows up this week. Hayward's seen him the most and it does great against him, against Waino. 357 batting average, 386 OBP, slugging 592, 982 OPS, 1 home run. Contreras has 2 home runs off of him, but is only batting 174 in 23 at bats, 31 plate appearances. Not great. And then Ian Happ, though, does pretty well. He's 8 for 20, batting 400, and has 4 home runs. So that's really your dude that watch out for.
Yeah.
So Ian Happ likes hitting him some Waino. And I don't know. Tell me about old man Wainwright.
Old man Wainwright, you know, that most recent one that you just brought up, it was a classic 2006 throwback game. Waino pitched 7 innings, no earned runs, and then Albert Pujols with a walk-off sac fly. It was like, what the fuck year is it?
Yeah, I mean, and it's a shame because it's like I'm kind of jealous of the fact that you guys get to have this because our core's just gone. The only way we're going to get any of these guys back is if it's like at the end of their career. Well, kind of like how Pujols is back, but like you had Waino and Yachty this whole time, so it's like frustrating that we won't sign Wilson Contreras like idiots. He's probably going to end up replacing Yachty.
It's probably no. I think it was a good move, though. I mean, selling the core and getting the farm system up to date, like I think that was a solid move. Obviously, you're just going through it right now with the rebuild, but I feel like the Cubs.
You know how I love the farm system.
Yeah,
you know how I love reading about prospects and stuff going on in cornfields. Ooh, that's fun.
Big farm guy.
That's why I moved to Iowa. So Justin Steele is going in this game. He looked pretty good last time. Definitely a bounce back from his start in Cincinnati where he gave up 7 runs through 2. He only gave up 3 through 5 last time. But he was really good the 2 starts before that, which a total of 11 innings pitched in 2 games against Arizona, 1 at home and 1 on the road. And he struck out 19 guys over that time. So, you know, we don't know what we're going to get with Steele. He's young. The Cardinals have seen him. Looks like only 1 game. In that game, Tyler O'Neill, who you said is hurt, probably from putting on those tight ass pants over those like thick ass legs.
Popped a glute.
Popped a freaking hemorrhoid is what he did. It's just so tight. Is Paul Goldschmidt has a dog. Tyler O'Neill has a dog, but he doesn't have a dog anymore because he popped it.
Yeah, he popped his dog.
He popped his dog. But yeah, this looks they hit him in the outing that they went out there. The Cardinals in only 21 plate appearances are batting 300, 333, 650 for a 983. So it wasn't a great game for Steele. I would imagine. I didn't look it up, but it certainly doesn't look like it was a very good game for Justin Steele. So those are your matchups. And then there's two more. But any ideas? I mean, I could kind of guess a couple of the minor league dudes that might take it for the Cubs, but I'm going to wait.
I think we definitely split the doubleheader. I feel like tonight, Lipitor, Mr. Lipitor, I have high hopes for him. He had a really shaky first outing. I think some, nerves in his first, and then his second outing, he looked way better. So I'm hoping that he's coming in comfortable. We pull out a win tonight, probably split on Saturday. What fucking day is it? Is it Thursday?
Yeah, today's Thursday.
God,
so then tomorrow's the Michaelis game. Which is
right. Michaelis is a win for us for sure.
I don't know. That's probably, I would say that's the best game of the series to maybe go see. Friday afternoon, 1:20. A couple of dudes in the middle of their careers that having good seasons, having good times of it right now. So
I'll confidently say we'll take 3 out of the 5.
I'm saying Cubs sweep. I said it last night.
I was trying to be all modest.
No, I'm
giving you guys a possible 2 wins.
I was 3 beers in when I predicted a Cubs sweep. I'm 2 glasses of wine in right now, also feeling very positive.
Classy.
Now, if I was like 6 beers in, I'd be like, oh, God, sell the team. Move the team to Rosemont. Something's got to give. But I won't. I'm just going to say Cubs sweep. And so there's our show. Please subscribe to us on Patreon. If you're going to any of these games, please use our StubHub link at sunranto.com/StubHub. You just click on our link, then you buy the tickets, and we get 1%. So, yeah, the tickets are pretty cheap, actually. So that 1% of that, it's like 36 cents, literally. Not great, but it all adds up. So please do it. And there's our show. And now here's a little fuck the Cardinals. Spagog.
Fuck the Cubs.
Covered in red, those stupid crimson birdies, and the fans are all in red, always talking about their past, and their double eleven rings, but everybody hates St. Lou, and that city is for it. They should just tear it down. I hate the fucking Cardinals and their stupid fucking town. Treating Yanni or Molina, falls into the chest.